Do you feel like you guys have stabilized things on the offensive line a bit? I don't know if that means maybe getting comfortable with constant change, but it's not like you guys have settled into the same line. It's still Tyree Phillips was on the Eagles last week, but it seems like the results are better. So do you feel like you guys have stabilized things?
I think we took a great step forward in this past week. And, like you said, Tyree coming in, I thought he did a good job. And I thought we played well together as a unit.
How do you think that plays into the last 2 weeks? There have certainly been more aggressive throws, more downfield throws. Obviously, a lot goes into that. Tyrod versus Daniel and Saquon being healthy versus not being there. What is the offensive line's part in that? Do you feel like you guys have given the offense the time to take more shots than you were earlier in the season?
Yeah, obviously with more downfield throws like that, you need to have, a little bit more time, a little strong and some strong protection. I felt like, we've been working well as a unit, and I've been taking a good step forward in working together in pass pro.
And then if I could ask one more just about the other side of the ball, I know you don't go against them every day, your starting defense like you do in training camp, but what have you seen, I guess, from your starting defense here in terms of a couple weeks ago we were on them about not tackling well, and now it seems like they are playing like one of the best units in the league. What have you seen from those guys, maybe in terms of motivation or play or just answering the bell?
I mean, we obviously on the offensive side, we knew what we had in our defense going against them every day in training camp and leading up to the season. They have we have some great leaders on the defensive side of the ball, we have a lot of great athletes back there as well. From the defensive line all the way back to the safeties. I believe it's a very talented group, and they're playing really, really well right now.
Thanks, Ben.
Howdy, Trina.
Hey, Ben, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good, thank you. Ben, yesterday Justin was talking about how the offensive line has been, quote unquote, over communicating to make sure that, given the different guys that are coming in and out of the lineup, that everybody is on the same page. Can you talk a little bit about that process, and have you found that to be helpful for your play?
Absolutely. I think, one of the biggest pieces in offensive line play is just making sure that we're all on the same page and going to the right guys and, accounting for our responsibilities. So, when we don't have a whole lot of time to gel together, like a full training camp or OTAs or things like that, we have to over communicate and make sure that we all know, who we're responsible for, and be able to be working together as a unit.
Can you just give a quick example of the over-communication process? Is it like you're sitting at lunch and somebody calls out a play, or is there something more involved to it?
There might be something more involved. It's more so, just we call it sometimes, a call and response, and just making sure that everybody knows what their responsibilities are. Communicating at the line of scrimmage. Coming off on the sideline and communicating there what we're seeing and, any possible adjustments or anything like that, and talking through and making sure that everyone knows what the plan is and how we need to execute.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Paul Schwartz.
Hey, Ben.
Hey, how are we doing?
Good. This is not a trick question, okay? I'm not, trying to dig for anything here. Just, I'm not asking who you like better. Can you just talk about being in the huddle, being on the field with the two different quarterbacks, Tyrod and Daniel, and is there a different feel or a different style that these two guys present? I mean, every person, every player is different. Can you speak to that a little bit?
Yeah, like you said, obviously Daniel and Tyrod have their, I would guess call it slightly unique characteristics that are different from one another. But, for the main point, they're both great veteran leaders, great quarterbacks, taking control of the huddle and making sure that everyone's on the same page. And it's a pleasure to block for either one of them.
What are some of those different characteristics that you see manifest itself in a huddle or on a field?
I guess it could just be their own personalities, things like that. I mean, I think they're both wired like true professionals, and they're both kind of wired the same way. From the O-line perspective, we don't really, I wouldn't say that there's, a complete difference in style of play with the two quarterbacks. I think they both make sure that we're all staying calm. And, I guess just speaking from this past game, Tyrod did a great job of having that veteran presence and making sure that, even when things weren't going right, that we were all staying together. And, when Daniel's in, he's doing the same thing. He's checking in with us on the sidelines and making sure. And, it's not like we're really skipping a beat or having anything too different when it's Tyrod or Daniel back there.
Okay, thanks, Ben.
Yeah, no problem.
Jordan Renan.
Hey, Ben. What's going on, man?
Good. How you doing, Jordan?
Good. How different does the offense look to you when you go back and watch it on tape with and without Saquon?
I mean, Saquon is, he's a key part to this offense, and he's an exceptional running back and a great player for us. It's awesome when he's in the game and he can make some explosive plays like we saw this past game. And he adds a great dynamic for us on the offensive side of the ball.
How much as an offense do you feel better today than you did, the past few weeks? Just on the fact that when you got that first touchdown, when you ended that streak, does that sort of take a weight off your shoulders at all?
I don't know if it's a weight off the shoulders. It's just good to see some results, especially, a red zone touchdown like that, where there were some times when drives were stalling out down there, and to be able to finish in the red zone was awesome.
We'll take two more. Tom Rock.
Ben, I know you haven't been here too long, but what do you make of the Giants-Jets rivalry, and what do you see from their defensive front that you're going to have to go against this week?
Yeah, in terms of the Giants-Jets rivalry, I know that this is going to be a game that's near to a lot of people's heart. Personally, I can't speak a whole lot on that at the moment, just because I've only been here for a couple of years, and we haven't had a regular season game against the Jets while I've been here. I'm looking forward to it. I'm very excited to be a part of it, and they have a good defense. They have a good defense, and we need to be prepared and ready for that.
I know you haven't done much studying on them, but when you look at their defense, it seems like they're very balanced between their edge rushers and their middle, and they don't really blitz a lot. What does that mean for an offensive line? Is it just about winning one-on-ones and things like that?
Yeah, it's winning your one-on-one matchup, and it's working together as a unit, and being able to help. Someone's going to be always in a position where maybe they can get some help, or and sometimes you're just going to have to win your one-on-one matchup. And it's like we talked about earlier in a previous question of over-communicating and making sure that everyone's on the same page.
Thank you.
Yep.
Last one, Bob Brookover.
Hi, Ben. Did you get any kind of sample size at all from the preseason game? Because they did actually play their starters a little bit, I guess, in that game, correct?
Correct. A little bit, yeah. There was, like you said, there was a small sample size there. So we got a couple drives of it from that last preseason game, and like I said before, they have a good defense over there.
And just because you're in the same city, and sometimes your games aren't at the same time, and even different teams, have you watched them at all, just even on TV?
Yeah, I mean, I watched some games, so obviously you're always tuned into it, and there's times when we're playing it, we'll have a late game, or if they're playing on a Monday night, something like that, you catch the game, and so I've seen them play before.
And when you watch them, do you end up watching it as an offensive lineman, or do you just watch the game?
Yeah, sadly, that's kind of how the football watching goes for me now, is watching the O-line. It's taken out that whole watching the game is a fan, and I'm always tuned into the O line of whatever team has the ball. So I've
D-line too. O-N-D line.
Yeah, exactly. I tend to watch the blocking more than the ball, watching it as a casual fan.